90-day fiancé friends, please watch the full video and please subscribe. The sun was barely peeking through the window as David Toborowsky sat at the kitchen table in his new home, staring out at the sprawling Arizona desert. It felt surreal to him that after all the years of ups and downs, family drama, and financial struggles, he and his wife, Ani, were starting over. The couple had just moved into a new house, one they could truly call their own, and it had been a long road to get there. After struggling in their old home, where space was limited and money was always tight, the move felt like a breath of fresh air. But there was something even more exciting in the air. Annie had recently shared the news that they were expecting again, and the Toborowskys were ready to add a new little bundle of joy to their family. The couple had always dreamed of expanding their family, and after the joy of raising their first child together, they couldn't wait to give their daughter, who was already a few years old, a sibling. David leaned back in his chair and sighed, a small smile tugging at his lips. This was the start of something beautiful. As the weeks passed, David and Annie worked tirelessly to settle into their new home. Boxes were everywhere, but they had a vision. They carefully planned each room with Annie's flair for design leading the charge. Her eye for color and style was evident in the way their living room began to take shape, a perfect mix of comfort and sophistication. Annie was the backbone of the operation as always. David, while helpful, often found himself distracted by the endless to-do lists and the overwhelming excitement of preparing for the baby. They had learned through their first child that preparation was key, and they were determined to make everything perfect this time around. "You think we need another crib?" David asked, looking at Ani, who was stacking up piles of baby clothes in their daughter's new room. "Maybe just a bassinet for now," she replied, her eyes sparkling as she folded a tiny onesie. "This baby is going to be spoiled just like our first." David chuckled. "Well, I'm not complaining. Our little one deserves everything she's getting." Their daughter was already a bundle of energy, always asking questions and excitedly preparing for her siblings' arrival. It was a joy to watch her grow, and now, with a new baby on the way, the Toborowskys were embracing their next adventure. David's mind was constantly racing, both about the move and the changes in his family life. They had come so far, and now it felt like they were on the edge of something even bigger. The dream of having a stable home and raising their children in a place they could call their own was within reach. The couple had also been brainstorming plans for their future, including business ventures that would help secure their finances for the long term. David had always been entrepreneurial, and now that they had a bit more breathing room financially, he was looking for ways to diversify their income. "I'm thinking about launching a podcast, for all the fans who have followed our journey," David mentioned one evening as they sat on the couch, scrolling through ideas for the future. Annie raised an eyebrow. "A podcast? About what?" "I don't know yet. We've had such a crazy journey already, and there's always so much more to share. I think people would love hearing our thoughts on everything: family, life, love." Annie smiled. "I like it. You've always been great at storytelling." David nodded. It was something he had always dreamed of doing, and now, with the new changes in his life, it seemed like the right time to dive in. It was an exciting time for the Toborowskys. Everything felt like it was aligning in the most perfect way. As their new home came together, the Toborowskys also shifted their focus to preparing for the arrival of their second child. While their daughter was eager to meet her new sibling, David and Annie were both feeling the excitement and pressure of bringing a new baby into the world. "We need to have a name picked out," Annie said one afternoon, her hand resting on her belly as she looked over baby books. "I'm not going to wait until the last minute like last time." David smiled, taking a deep breath. "How about Alexander if it's a boy?" Annie nodded thoughtfully. "I like that, strong and for a girl." "What about Sophia?" David suggested. "That's beautiful," Annie said, and David could see the sparkle in her eyes as she imagined their growing family. "Sophia Toborowsky, I like it." The couple continued brainstorming names as they prepared their home, but it wasn't just the name that had them excited. They were planning a gender reveal party to surprise their family and friends, and the excitement in the air was palpable. They wanted to create a moment of joy and celebration for everyone who had been with them through thick and thin. "We need to make sure it's perfect," Annie said, looking at David with a twinkle in her eye. David laughed. "Trust me, everything with you is perfect." As the gender reveal party approached, things took an unexpected turn. While planning the event, Annie and David decided to go all out: balloons, cake, confetti, and a big surprise for everyone. But when the big day came, the gender reveal did not go exactly as planned. The Toborowskys had set up a large balloon arch for the moment everyone had been waiting for. With family and friends gathered around, they were ready to pop the balloon and reveal whether their second child would be a boy or a girl. But when David went to pop it, nothing happened. Annie burst into laughter, and David looked at her in disbelief. "Seriously?" "Don't worry, honey. It's just a sign that this baby is going to be full of surprises," Annie joked, trying to save face as she pulled the strings herself. Finally, the confetti cannon went off, and the room erupted in excitement. It was a boy. The Toborowskys couldn't contain their joy as they hugged and kissed, their excitement for their son's arrival filling the room. "We did it, Annie," David said, holding her close. "We're having a boy." Annie wiped away a happy tear. "Our family is growing, and I couldn't be happier."